Hey guys, welcome back to DMACO Golf. I hope you guys are having a great Memorial Day weekend. I've got some ribs on the smoker and well, we're going to have fun recording a couple of videos today. I need to get a couple more pieces of content out to you guys. Now the first video is going to be talking about this new driver head that I've had now for just about a week and a half. And you all remember that I was using the Rogue with that brand new stiff shaft, the hazardous smoke yellow shaft that I'd gotten from a local fitter. And it was really winding up the backspin numbers on me to the point where my shots were really kind of ballooning up in the air. I was getting decent distance off them because my swing speed was climbing and climbing and climbing, but again, backspin of 3,300 is not going to cut it. So I went ahead and actually got a low spin version of the Rogue, which is called the Rogue Sub-Zero. And you can see here that it's got two weight holes, right? It's got a weight hole up at the front, it's got a weight hole in the back. And you've also got two different weights. You've got a 14-gram tungsten weight and a 2-gram aluminum weight. And you can flip these back and forth. Now for today's video purposes, we're gonna see what the difference is. So stay tuned. So for the first batch of shots, we're going to put the heavy weight in the back, all right? So this is going to give us the most forgiveness, the highest moment of inertia, or MOI. And we're going to see how this mid to high handicapper does with it in the most, I guess, forgiving settings and what the spin levels are. And then we'll go ahead and we'll move the weight way up front, which is, typically going to be for your lower handicappers. Obviously the pros love to have the weight near the front of the head for low spin. We're going to see how it impacts my output. But this is the way we're going to start. So let me get these screwed in. We'll start making some shots. All right, so for the first batch of shots, we're going to look at putting the heavy tungsten weight, 14-gram weight in the back, which is going to be the most forgiving, and this is a 2-gram aluminum weight. We'll put that in the front. So this is probably how most of your high handicappers should be playing this driver head. Again, with the most forgiveness, the greatest moment of inertia, or MOI, at the back, and little weight at the front. Then we'll flip it around and we'll put the big weight at the front, which is how most tour players play it, or single-digit handicappers play it. And we'll see what happens there. But again, I'm trying to get lower than that 3,300 spin rate that we saw with my previous driver head, and I think this should do it. But let's see what this setting does. Let's take some swings. All right, let's start with the driver in the most forgiving setting then. Woo, looking pretty good. .229 carry, 250 total, 3,300 backspin. Okay, that's not very good. Let's keep going. Let's move this cursor out of the way here. Woo, I felt solid again. All right, a little bit of a cut, still going to be in the fairway. Let's see, 223 carry, 241 total, 140 mile an hour ball speed, 3,800 backspin. Man, I'm telling you what, when you hit the ball to the right, you would expect the backspin to go up, but close to 4,000 RPM, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I'm making great contact. Look at that. 2 degrees into out, the ball started, had minimal side spin, your spin axis. But that spin was just a distance killer. That was a little low on the club. It's going right as well. Woo, 3,600. All right, so that's 10 shots. Actually, I think 11 shots with the weight in the back. So let's get this big weight out here. Again, in the Rogue Sub-Zero, it was 14 grams. Now, in the previous model year, the Epic Sub-Zero was only 12. So they've added more weight to this one. I can't tell you what the Maverick Sub-Zero had as far as weight in the front or the current Epic Speed. I know that there are some guys that went and just, the 14 in the front was too much for them. They just didn't have that forgiveness. So they went and they just used, you know, a 10 or a 12 in the front just to give them that low spin without really wrecking up their forgiveness of the driver. So I'll finish screwing this in and then we'll start looking at some shots. All right, so we've got the weight up front. We're in the low spin kind of setup. Let's see what we got here. First shot, a little bit of a fade. Wow, okay. A little bit of a fade like I've been hitting with the weight back, but that one carried 240 yards, 265 total, and we're down to 2,300 backspin, which is amazing. So that was a pretty straight shot, just a tiny bit to the right, but I'll take those all day long. Pretty straight. So let's take a look at the driver in the first setting. So I had the 14 gram weight in the back. As you saw, I was leaking some to the right a little bit, just baby fades. You know, I did absolutely crack one here. I know there was a 100-mile-an-hour shot that was 2-yard draw. But look at 3,300 backspin still, and it was probably one of the best hits that I had here. 236 carry, 256 total, but that would have been a lot better. I had another one here, just a baby draw, you know, 231 carry, 2,800 backspin, which is really the lowest that I've got in this entire set of 10, was 2,800. That was the lowest. Every other one, you know, there's another 2,800. Every other one's above 3,000, and some of the ones going, you know, offline by 20 yards, 18 yards, 12 yards. These are all still in the fairway or first cut guys, no doubt about it. But those were all high 3,000s. You saw those in the first couple of swings. On average, backspin is 3,300, carry is 229, and then 249. So if we go to the driver with the weight in the front, now I was a bit more all over the place with regards to draws and fades. So there's 11-yard baby fade. There's a 14-yard baby draw, bit more of a draw, straight as an arrow, draw, straight as an arrow, draw, fade, fade. So the dispersion wasn't quite as tight. For some reason, I was getting around on these shots more. So I don't know, maybe that's the weighting, But look at these backspin numbers: 23, 24, 22, 26, 27, 29, 28, 23, 26. This one was high because it was low off the grooves. And it ended up being one of my shorter shots. But a lot of these shots are rolling out, 250, 260 plus. So on average here, we've got backspin of 2,700, 234 carry, 257. So let's just compare here. We're going to show the averages only. Wow, look at that difference. 3,300 backspin versus 2,700 backspin. Guys, that is huge deal. And, as far as carry goes, 5 yards. As far as total distance goes, 8 yards. But, I just felt so much better with this driver. Now, one could say, well, Dean, you were hitting this other one with a consistent fade, and it seemed to end up in the same spot all the time. I'll take, 5 or 6 yards less on that one. For me, though, these orange shots were all in the fairway or the first cut. So it's not like I was putting a lot of them out of bounds. And I'd rather take the extra 8 yards of difference. And to be honest with you, I just felt more comfortable with that setup. I felt like I could go after it a bit more. And so, that's the difference, guys. I mean, it wasn't what you expected. So in summary, I know there's only about 5-6 yards in it, guys. I guess it depends on what your comfort is. Do you want that consistent fade? Do you want to go for a little bit of extra distance and pull the weight forward? I actually really like this setting. I feel more confident with this setting. I'm really glad I changed to this driver head. And this is a 4-year-old driver head, guys. Not a lot of money on eBay just to purchase the head. I already had the stiff shaft. So let me know in the comments below, is it worth it to go to a low spin setting for you? Or would you rather have maybe more consistency, that consistent fade that I had when I put the heavier weight in the back? Comments below. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell notification so you'll get notifications of future videos, and we'll see you next time.